Hello, everyone. The Honest Collector here to give you the truth on the SH Figuarts, the Flash movies, The Flash. This is not a very popular or cared about figure, but it, in my opinion, fits the expectation of underrated in the sense that it's not bad, but it's definitely hasn't been reviewed by a lot of people. No big names reviewed this guy at all. No, like, of the creators that you watch when you have a figure that's coming and you've already watched those reviews from the big creators. So you know maybe this can fill in that gap because maybe you saw this figure and you're like, this is probably the only Flash figure on the market. Is it actually good? We're gonna do all of that here. So we're gonna do it, properly and really discuss everything here. So of course this is by Bandai Namco, Tamashii Nations, and you get all the little writings here. I think the packaging is good. I like the lightning strike up there. That's pretty cool. You get a side image of the figure, which admittedly does it. I mean, it looks similar enough to the figure. It's not it's not any real crazy difference at all. But yeah, so it really highlights the texture and everything that you see here. Shows some of the other options that you have with the swappable visors and everything like that, which I'll get onto later. So that's okay. Another side image of the same thing. It didn't really emulate them to try. It didn't really emulate that they tried really hard with this packaging, which I don't know. It's okay. The flash up there looks nice. All this stuff looks nice. So, with that being said, let's move this to the side. Let's take a look at the figure. All right. So this guy comes with an okay amount of accessories. You're gonna get a. Wow, I just messed up the display completely. You're gonna get a cowl down piece, which I will show you how that works later. And then it looks really nice. I like the wings and everything. Although this is definitely designed more of like a helmet, but I sure technology, DC, I guess. And then we'll get onto this head sculpt later. He has two regular relaxed hands, which look good. Two of the kind of like gestured running hands, which look good. And then he has the two what looks like pushing or palm striking hands here. So that's good there. I really do like that. We do get the essentials because we also do get two punching hands out from the package right here, and I'll go on to this head sculpt later. He does come with two of each of these lightning pieces, which I really don't care about. You can find better from practically anywhere, to be honest. So these are okay. They don't really attach that well either. It's like eh. You do get the swappable visor piece and the tool for it, which I'll show you later. And this head sculpt looks like Ezra Miller very, very much. He even got a little bit of the facial hair coming through. Definitely look a little too much of a blank stare, maybe. The eyes are a little too big. But you definitely see Ezra Miller in there. And regardless of what you think, this does look objectively very, very nice. Maybe the ears look a little weird, but I definitely like it. And I think it looks very, very good. Even the hair and everything, so that's nice. And also, don't worry, no license, even the license and stuff like that, of getting this figure does not do anything for Ezra Miller. It does not put any money in his pocket. So, great. Then the actual head sculpt itself looks very nice. You can see it has those same eyes there. That looks very, very good. And yeah, you could see that you do have a rigid kind of texture on the I want to say helmet, on the cowl. Looks very, very good. And overall, this figure looks very nice. But we're going to still show the accessories. So popping this head off, you can see there's a separate little scoop right there. Or I guess a groove. Take this and just push, and this little eyepiece comes out. And then you slide this one in. And although these visors are incorrect, you're supposed to see the eyes through it. I don't mind this at all. Sure, it's not the best, so it's something I'll mention, but I really don't mind. I do think this is really cool. I do wish that we did get to see the eyes through, though. I think that is cooler. But, yeah, not bad at all. Definitely still a really good option, and I actually do like this a lot. And regardless, if you are for it, not for it, it is here. It is done well. Instead of just doing a whole like alternate head sculpt, which I guess some people could say this is a little more annoying, but it's not as time consuming, I don't think. But anyways, let's continue. So then with the cowl down piece is a little more difficult, and I'll show why. It's because of this groove right here, that little piece in the neck. It's kind of difficult. Obviously, you do see it has a swappable neck, so you're gonna have to put this in first. It's a little more stiff, and then it's gonna come undone. So it seems like that was an afterthought, which I'm not a big fan of, because then why include it if it's just gonna half work? So just a little weird. Not the best way to do this. I think, I don't know. It didn't seem very well thought out. That's not a great look. So it's okay. You can make it work, but it is very difficult and annoying too, which it shouldn't be for a figure that is, I think, base price $80 or $90. So already off to an only an okay start. But you should not be just in the okay or acceptable range at this price point. On Big Bad Toy Store, which is where I got it, it is $76. So that's why it's a little easier of a pill for me to swallow, but still, this is base price $90. Once that sale ends, it's going back up to $90. So not great. It's okay so far. But again, this head sculpt here does look very, very good. And again, it makes more sense that it's not going to have a cowl down piece because it is more of a mask. So anyways, I mean, it is more of a helmet. So then looking at the rest of the figure, texture, great. Proportions are looking really good. The chest is not the biggest, but that's just because Ezra Miller is not the most, like, buff guy. And also, what I noticed, when you put the legs together like this knee joint, this knee cut, is higher than this one. I have no idea why. And then when you look, or no, it seems that the thigh, yeah, no, this thigh piece right here is actually higher than this one. You'll see where the two wrists meet, right there. So odd, I don't know why. It doesn't affect anything, but just interesting. So what people call the thong piece here, it's still distracting as always. Literally, you don't need it, but it's okay. And this actually does go on to a gripe that I have later. But yeah, it does look not the most distracting, but it still is definitely there. It's not the best looking thing. You can put his shoulders up to give him a better look, and overall the texture and paint and gold lining and everything looks very nice, and it matches up very well. Kind of spending too much time just blabbing about this figure, so let's go on to the articulation. The head can barely look up. It can an okay amount, but like, why? We need this figure to look up like a very good, like, have very good range looking up, because he's running, so he's gonna be like this. But anyways, to fix that, just swivel the neck piece around, and then he looks this far up, which is okay, which is a lot better, but then you do have this huge gap here. So it really depends. Again, you could just pose it away, which you'll see I have done a posing video for. So it does work pretty well. But still, if you want to do a pose that's like this, like him running but from this angle, then it's just not, it's kind of ugly. Well, it's very ugly, and that's really bad. But the range around, side to side, is good. Looking down is great, because for some reason they put a slope right here to where he's looking down more, which is dumb. And then they used a really tiny double ball peg. So not very good design there. Again, tilting is fine, looking up is bad, looking down is great. Obviously he's going to turn his head, so that's okay. Arm's going to go all the way around. You do get a lot of shoulder adjustment, and then moving forward, not enough. It just brings them out and slightly forward, not more to his front. So, and then you can buff them out like that. So it's okay, not bad. It barely goes back at all, which is a bummer for running poses and stuff. That kind of sucks. And then moving up is going to be this high, which is not bad. Bicep swivel. Bicep swivel is a floating piece, actually. You're really going to get all your movement in this double knee, or double elbow, I should say. So you're really going to get all of it there. The bicep is just to cover it, to make it look like an actual bicep swivel, but it's all from the elbow. So that's okay. And then double jointed elbows, how do they work? They work very nicely. They look decent, not bad. Weird hole there, but it's okay. And then the wrists, which the hands are definitely too small, not bad. Good range, get there. And then obviously the swivel with the ball. And then for the torso, top of the torso, not bad. Back, again, not bad. A little bit of gapping. You can close that up though. That's pretty good. Both torsos moving forward, and since they did not want to go with a simple ball joint, you're going to get all this gapping here. And also, you're not going to get any twist from the bottom because of this piece. It's cut on an angle, so it's just going to run into it, you see? So all your twist is going to be from the top, which sucks for running poses, but he still can pose very well without too much effort, honestly. It's just a lot of things that are like, we don't really need this to be an issue, but it is an issue because of the way they want to do it. So you only have this hinge right here, and he moves barely side to side again because it's all capped off by this stupid piece down here to prevent gapping. Yeah, okay. So moving back, oh my gosh. How did I not notice that? You could see the whole ball and everything in there. That's kind of disgusting. Again, you can just close that gap up. Still, that looks very weird. They did not care about that part. But anyways, forward, not bad. Pretty decent. Legs, gonna kick this high. Kick back further, actually, but it's because of this belt piece. So, good range. Further range back, so dumb. But at least it's there, I guess. Now, the one thing that's annoying is that since he can't twist at this bottom joint, you're really going to rely on this piece here. But if you make him run, you're practically seeing his butt cheek, no matter what, come through. And it looks super weird when running. If you guys get what I'm saying. Like, let's get him in a decent running pose. You see what I mean? This piece is just here. His leg should not do this. It really shouldn't. And no matter how forward you put it, it's just not going to look how it should. So that is why this and this bottom joint here is all messed up. It really takes a hit on the figure and the aesthetic of it and everything like that. So it definitely is a problem. Thigh cut, which is good. Double jointed knees, they work okay. I would like to see them bend a little further. Ankle moves down decently. It's okay. Again, I would like to see it move down a little further. Moves up really nicely, though. That's good. You get good toe articulation, and it's perfectly cut. Looks very nice. And decent ankle pivot. Not bad. We're doing a lot of just okay for a SHF figure. So, you know, it is treading on just okay territory so far. However, splits all the way, or close enough. That's very nice. And that's all of the articulation. So let's do some size comparisons. Here's how he stands next to the Mafex Dark Crusader Batman, the black and gray version, and the Mafex Dark Knight Returns Superman. Here's how he stands next to your Marvel Legends Spider-Man Brand New Day Spider-Man, and here's how he stands next to my custom Wonder Woman from the Marvel Legends Power Princess figure. Here's how he stands next to the DC Multiverse Lex Luthor Power Suit from the New 52 line, and here's also how he stands next to the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 Jakks Pacific Sonic movie figure. So what are my final thoughts on this guy? He's definitely not a bad figure, and he's a little better than average because of the way he poses. I think with all the regular basic style articulation that doesn't get the super crazy range, it definitely does what it needs to do with that basic range that it gets, and it's nothing that's like bad or really annoying in a lot of ways. So I definitely think that it's better than the average and still meets the requirements of being better than basic, but at the same time, it could have been easily way better with almost like barely any differences. Just switch out how they do the articulation of like the ball pegs instead of doing these like weird like cuts and like hinges and stuff like that, which SH Figuarts is known for doing now. But overall, it's not bad. So I'm going to give it an 8, and then I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, a comfortable 8 out of 10. It's definitely better than a 7 out of 10, but there's some things that are just lacking in the accessories department and in the articulation. So not a bad figure, definitely nothing offensive here, And I do really enjoy it, and I'm like very glad that I have this Flash figure in my collection because it's very fun to pose, and I think you guys will enjoy it. So that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've enjoyed, please give this video a like. If you're new, subscribe and turn on notifications so I can give you the truth on the next figure. You know the only way this is gonna work. Spread peace, love, and be greater together. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.